I understand the depth of your patience, the quiet, unwavering kind that waits not just days, but months, maybe even years, for something or someone to come around. I now see the strength of your endurance, the way you held on to what we had even as it began to slip through my fingers. You've been fighting for the bond we once shared, for the love that bound us, while I, distracted, unaware, perhaps even emotionally absent, let that bond fray with every missed chance and careless silence. I let you drift, further and further away, into the abyss of emotional distance, thinking somehow we'd always find our way back. But love doesn't work like that. And now, the weight of that realization presses heavily on me, draining me in ways I never expected. I'm tired, exhausted not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, because now I see what I've lost, and more painfully, how I lost it. Every day, moments of our past replay in my mind with cruel precision. I analyze them over and over, like someone watching the same scene in a film, hoping to catch a different detail, hoping the ending might somehow change. I think of the things I could have done better, the words I should have said, the time I should have made for you. It's a relentless cycle, this loop of regret and hindsight, and it leaves me weary. Still, in the eye of this emotional storm, a small but stubborn glimmer of hope persists. It's fragile, but it's there, the hope that the guilt and sorrow I feel now might someday give way to forgiveness, and maybe even redemption. The hope that the door hasn't closed completely. That love, real love, might still have a second chance. More than anything, I long for that chance. I want nothing more than to be close to you again, to sit beside you, to hear your voice not through memory but in real time, to feel the warmth of your presence as something tangible, not imagined. I miss the way you made me feel safe, understood, and seen. I miss the small gestures, the shared silences, the comfort of knowing someone was there, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. That kind of connection isn't easy to find, and even harder to rebuild once it's broken. But I'd do anything for the opportunity to try. You may not fully know the storm that's been raging inside me, but I need you to understand, the day I rejected your love, whether through silence, neglect, or selfish behavior, was the day something inside me cracked. I didn't feel it right away. At first, I told myself it was for the best, that we needed space, that time would bring clarity. But clarity didn't come the way I thought it would. Instead, each passing day became a struggle, a battle between my pride and my remorse, between the facade I showed the world and the guilt eating me from the inside out. I've prayed for a sign from you, something, anything to let me know you still care, that there's a trace of love left, however faint. A single word from you could pierce through the silence that has become deafening. I've waited for it like someone waits for dawn after a sleepless night, constantly checking my phone, hoping to see your name, your message, your presence on the other end. But each time, I'm met with silence, a silence that screams louder than words ever could. It's a silence that reminds me of the pain I caused, and the distance I allowed to grow between us. I can only imagine how deeply I must have hurt you, how heartbreakingly disappointed you must have felt. And that knowledge, it haunts me. I regret not holding on tighter. I regret that instead of nurturing our connection with care and affection, I allowed anger and frustration to seep in. I let petty insecurities cloud my judgment. I let fear, the fear of not being enough, the fear of losing control, the fear of vulnerability, rule my actions. And in doing so, I pushed you away. I see that now, with painful clarity. I let the worst parts of myself take the wheel, and by the time I realized what I was doing, you were already too far out of reach. Please don't misunderstand, I've always admired you. I love seeing you happy. Your happiness used to be my happiness. Your achievements made me proud in ways I never told you enough. I was always in awe of how the world saw you, how people recognized your talent, your beauty, your strength. But even in that admiration, my own insecurities gnawed at me. A part of me feared that someone else might come along, someone more attentive, more affectionate, more stable, and offer you the kind of love I failed to give. I feared that they'd see all the things in you that I failed to nurture, and that you'd see in them what I wasn't brave enough to be. And the worst part is, I can't blame you if that happens. Because you deserve that kind of love. You always did. This fear I carry isn't just a shadow, it's a constant reminder of my shortcomings. But strangely, it's also what drives me now. It's what pushes me to become better, not just for you, but for myself. To grow. To learn. To finally face the parts of me I've been too afraid to confront. Because the truth is, I don't want to live with this regret forever. I don't want this story to end with silence and distance. I want to fight for you now, the way you once fought for me. I want to rebuild what I tore down, to show you that people can change, that love, real love, can evolve and survive even after it's been tested. I don't expect forgiveness overnight, and I certainly don't expect you to forget the pain I caused. But I hope you can see how deeply I've come to understand it, and how desperately I want to make things right. If there's still a place in your heart for me, no matter how small, I promise to protect it this time. I promise to show up for you, fully and without fear. And even if that chance never comes, know this, you changed me. You taught me what love should be. And I'll carry that lesson for the rest of my life. You are in the midst of a profound metamorphosis, a soul-deep transformation that is changing you in ways you may not have fully realized yet. The energy that once consumed you, heavy and low in vibration, no longer holds power over your spirit. You have risen from those depths, and with that ascension comes the release of pain, doubt, and emotional wounds that once defined your experience. This is not who you once were. You are shedding an old version of yourself, one shaped by trauma, loss, and fear, and stepping into alignment with a higher, more awakened version of your being. Through this process of deep healing, you have begun to embody true spiritual balance. What once felt chaotic within is now becoming harmonious. You are finding equilibrium not outside of yourself, but within your own soul. This sense of inner peace does not depend on others, it is rooted in your resilience, your strength, and your willingness to confront your pain and evolve from it. Your light now shines with greater clarity and power, and it draws others toward you, particularly someone from your past whose soul is still deeply entangled with yours. This person is feeling the ripple effects of your transformation in ways they may not even fully understand themselves. Their thoughts are consumed by you. Your presence lingers in their mind like a constant echo, impossible to silence. They lie awake at night, dissecting every word, every action, every decision that may have led to the disconnection between you. They are beginning to see the depth of what they lost and are haunted by the realization that their choices had lasting consequences. Their heart is heavy with regret. Internally, they are wrestling with their ego and pride. These were once their shields, the barriers that kept them from fully embracing vulnerability and truth. But those defenses are crumbling now. In their place is a desire to grow, to understand, and to make amends. Even if it's not immediately obvious on the surface, they are undergoing their own spiritual awakening. They are cleaning up the emotional messes they left behind, not just in your connection, but in their own life. There is a strong pull within them, a call to transformation, similar to what you've experienced, though uniquely their own. What drives this transformation most of all is love. Their love for you has not faded. In fact, it has only grown stronger through the distance and silence. That love is not based on possession or control, it is a yearning for reconciliation, a longing to reconnect with the soul they once felt at home with. They want another chance, not just to be in your life, but to do things right this time. They're beginning to understand the value of what they had and the depth of what they lost. This person is also confronting the weight of karma, the spiritual consequences of their past actions. At the soul level, a sacred agreement once bound you both together. You were not just a fleeting connection, you were a divine blessing offered to them by the universe, an opportunity to experience unconditional love. But in their fear, their confusion, or their immaturity, they turned away from that gift. They failed to recognize the love that asked for nothing in return and instead chose paths that led them away from you. Now, they must face the consequences of that decision. Your separation has served as a mirror for them, just as it has for you. It has revealed truth in the starkest light. For you, it forged strength and clarity. For them, it left behind an emotional void. They are beginning to understand the magnitude of their loss. What once brought them happiness, peace, and joy has now become a painful memory, and that realization is triggering a deep emotional reckoning. Their regret is not just mental, it's visceral, physical, a weight they carry every single day. They are struggling through a period of intense emotional darkness. Depression, longing, and self-doubt cloud their thoughts. They miss you, not just the idea of you, but your energy, your warmth, your love. Your absence is deeply felt, and it has created a space within them that nothing else seems to fill. They now understand that they have already lost the most precious connection they've ever known. What they once took for granted was, in truth, a beacon of light, a soul bond filled with divine love and purpose. Now they are left grappling with that loss, coming to terms with a future that may no longer include you. They are realizing, often too late, that some things in life are irreplaceable. True love, pure, unconditional, and rare, is not something easily found again. And you are one of those rare, irreplaceable souls. You were their chance at something extraordinary. In losing you, they lost far more than just a relationship, they lost the very thing that once made them feel whole. But through it all, your transformation continues. You are not defined by their regret, nor by the pain of the past. You are rising, healing, becoming whole. And whether or not reconciliation ever takes place, your journey is leading you toward greater wisdom, deeper self-love, and a future rooted in authenticity and peace.